The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, also known as the NHTSA, is formally asking Tesla to recall over 100,000 Model S's and Model X's over a problem with the media unit. The media unit is also known as the entire interface that controls the screen. We're going to talk about who is affected, what this means going forward, and some other recent Tesla updates, so let's get into it. Tesla has dealt with a number of recalls in the past, and this is nothing new from an automaker. When we hear the term recall, we tend to think about a car manufacturer taking back all of their cars and customers being given new ones. However, the official definition of a recall from the NHTSA says, quote, "A recall is issued when a manufacturer or NHTSA determines that a vehicle, equipment, car seat, or tire creates an unreasonable safety risk or fails to meet minimum safety standards. Manufacturers are required to fix the problem by repairing it, replacing, offering a refund, or in rare cases, repurchasing the vehicle." Notice that they said repurchasing a vehicle only happens in rare cases, such as something like VW's Dieselgate. So this is how companies can have multiple recalls for their cars and still survive. A recall really just means that there is a required repair, customers need to bring that car for service to get that fixed, and the company has to cover the cost. Tesla has actually already dealt with a few recalls for their brand new Model Y. The first was back in September and was an issue with trailer brake lights failing to illuminate when braking, increasing the risk of a crash according to the NHTSA. Tesla fixed this issue with an over-the-air software update and everything was fine. Back in November, there was a more serious recall for loose control arm bolts that may affect steering. Quote, "A detached upper control arm can cause the wheels to lean in or out, decreasing the driver's ability to steer and increasing the risk of crash." This was a more serious issue, but it only potentially affected 401 Model Ys. These customers were reportedly notified, and the bolt was tightened at Tesla service. So we can see that recalls can be very necessary, but also be much less serious than we tend to think at first glance. However, the Model S and X recall seems to be one of the biggest Tesla has faced thus far. Tesla has been dealing with an issue with their media units that they call MCU in the Model S and Model X for some time. Over time, owners of older Model S's and X's notice that their touchscreen becomes less responsive, the power-up time gets longer, the screen freezes and needs a reboot, and the entire system eventually fails. The official word from the NHTSA says, quote, "NHTSA is investigating a potential safety-related defect concerning incidents of media control unit failures resulting in loss of rear-view camera and other safety-related vehicle functions in certain model year 2012 through 2018 Tesla Model S and model year 2016 through 2018 Model X vehicles." This has been a well-known issue amongst Tesla owners, and the NHTSA first asked for more information from Tesla after receiving 537 complaints from owners. Tesla handed over records of more than 12,000 MCU replacements at the time, and the investigation has been ongoing. In 2018, Tesla introduced a new version of the MCU that doesn't suffer from these same issues, but it's a nearly inevitable issue that will eventually affect most Model S's and X's built before they changed the MCU in 2018. Tesla has also dealt with a yellow border issue where the glue residue from the screen tends to bleed onto the screen after some time, leaving the border to look something like this. This is also very common and something I've actually seen on every single Model S loaner Tesla service has given to me. But that's not the issue at hand here. Reportedly, the problem at the heart of the defect is a worn-out flash memory chip used in the displays of the Model S's and X's built in this time period. Every time an owner turns on one of these cars, it, quote, "eats away at the total capacity of the 8GB eMMC NAND flash memory chip on board the NVIDIA Tegra 3 processor that powers the display. When that capacity is reached, usually about 5 or 6 years later, the displays become bricked." The NHTSA opened a formal investigation into the issue in June of 2020, and now they are officially asking Tesla to recall 158,000 Model S's and X's for these display failures. According to the report, quote, "The MCU is the vehicle's display screen, which controls certain aspects of performance subject to Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards and other safety-relevant functions. Specifically, failure of the MCU results in loss of rear view/backup camera and loss of HVAC. The failure also has an adverse effect on the autopilot advanced driver assistance system, as well as turn signal functionality due to the possible loss of audible chimes, driver sensing, and alerts associated with these vehicle functions. Basically, Tesla designed the Model S with a large center touchscreen to control nearly everything in the car, and that touchscreen is failing. It's a big deal because everything is controlled there, as I mentioned. Apparently, Tesla has issued over-the-air software updates, like they do, to help mitigate the failures, but the NHTSA says that it doesn't go far enough, especially because it cuts access to the backup camera, which is now a federal mandate. Tesla finally acknowledged this issue back in November of 2020, announcing extended warranties for the MCU touchscreen. They said, quote, "For customer peace of mind, we are providing additional coverage on some Model S and Model X vehicles built before March 2018 that are equipped with an 8GB embedded multimedia card in the media control unit. We are aware that this component may malfunction due to accumulated wear. If this occurs, it could result in a blank or intermittently blank center display." They finished their statement saying, quote, "This condition has no impact on basic vehicle driver functionality and controllability, and we are not aware of any injuries or collisions relating to it." While that last sentence may be accurate, it's basically saying that if the screen fails, you can still drive the car safely to a service center and then get it fixed. But they are hardly being proactive at all in replacing those parts, at least at that time. They are waiting for customers to have the issue and bring it into service. On top of this, the move only came after the NHTSA put pressure on Tesla to acknowledge the issue. Since then, clearly, the NHTSA investigated it further and wants Tesla to proactively fix these touchscreens before they inevitably fail. In early 2020, Tesla started offering a $2,500 infotainment upgrade for the Model S and X. The upgrade would take you from MCU 1, the MCU that fails, to MCU 2, the one that doesn't fail. But this wasn't the purpose of this upgrade. Tesla's infotainment system improved drastically with MCU 2 and added a lot of features, as you can see listed here. You get a more responsive touchscreen, faster browser and video playback. It includes Tesla arcade games, karaoke, YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, driving visualizations, dashcam and Sentry mode with the cameras, and more. The one downside is that this upgrade actually removes certain types of radio, including Sirius XM, since Tesla's no longer includes satellite radio. So Tesla offered this $2,500 upgrade for these improvements, but at the same time, customers who were worried that their car with MCU 1 would eventually have a bricked screen felt that this was Tesla avoiding paying for the replacement. Of course, you get new features, but in turn, you pay $2,500, and Tesla won't have to fix your screen that will inevitably fail in a few years. Whether that was Tesla's intention or not, we'll never know, but we do know that the NHTSA is now formally asking for this recall from Tesla, as I mentioned earlier. The letter says, quote, "ODI requests that Tesla initiate a recall to notify all owners, purchasers, and dealers of the subject vehicle of this safety defect and provide a remedy, in accordance with the requirements of the National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act." According to this letter as well, Tesla themselves confirmed to the NHTSA that every single one of these units will inevitably fail. They also provided their own statistical model showing the number of projected weekly MCU repairs from 2020 to 2028, estimating that the replacement rate will peak in early 2022. The NHTSA reiterates that every single car will be affected, saying, quote, "Even model year 2018 subject vehicles will experience 100% failure of the MCU within approximately 10 years. So this is a lot different than those Model Y recalls I mentioned earlier. If you want to hear more about those recalls, you can watch my video linked up here or in the description below, but this recall isn't just out of an abundance of caution. Tesla has confirmed that every single one of these 158,000 cars will have the complete screen failure eventually. That's a lot of cars and a lot of owners who bought a very expensive Tesla early on and will no doubt have this issue. Currently, they have an extended warranty for it, but it's something that they know they will have to fix, so why not fix it up front? Tesla has yet to respond, and they technically have 2 weeks or until January 27th to respond or accept the recall. Interestingly enough, the 27th should be the day that Tesla has their Q4 2020 earnings call, so I wouldn't be surprised if we hear quite a bit about this issue on that call, since this affects so many owners and is going to be a massive series of repairs for Tesla. Likely that is the reason they have delayed this, but when the issue gets into the category of inevitable, I think it's incredibly important that Tesla issues an official recall and makes this right. At no point should your Model S be out of warranty and unable to get this repair for free. If they had known that the screen machine will inevitably break. One thing that is good for Tesla going forward is that they did fix this issue in 2018 with MCU2. Additionally, the Model 3 and now Model Y, which have sold in far higher quantities than the Model S and X, have not had any issues like this thus far. The future could bring up some issues since these cars have only been on the road since 2017, but so far there have not been any failures like we're seeing in these Model S's and X's. It's not the best look for Tesla that the NHTSA has had to push these investigations on Tesla and is somewhat forcing a recall out of them. Tesla is getting a bad reputation for quality control and their service centers, with some owners having an issue getting their MCU repaired under warranty by Tesla service centers. So while recalls are commonplace for auto manufacturers, when it's something this serious and inevitable, Tesla should be taking care of their customers proactively. We know they have a lot on their plate going forward and that they are clearly more focused on Model 3 and Model Y sales. They are breaking delivery records each quarter and building more factories around the world, while also planning to produce the very popular Cybertruck hopefully within the next year. But this will only go so far if they don't take care of past customers with issues like this recall. If an issue that is this serious has to be forced by the NHTSA, at the very least we can say that will turn off some customers from buying a Tesla in the future. Just because the Model 3 and Y haven't had an issue like this doesn't mean that it never will, and if it does, we want to feel confident that Tesla will do the right thing and take care of an issue if it's truly a factory defect. Interestingly enough, we can see this week that the NHTSA is at least fairly unbiased because they are both forcing a recall out of Tesla and awarding Tesla a 5-star safety rating in every category for the Model Y. I talked about this in my last video, which is linked up here or in the description below, but Tesla officially acknowledged these results and posted their own crash test results. They're incredibly impressive, and Tesla is clearly emphasizing how ridiculously hard it is to roll over one of these cars. The rollover rate for the Model Y is 7.9%, and we can see from multiple angles posted by Tesla why that is the case. It's thanks to the large battery pack on the floor of the Model Y, and it definitely helps make the Model Y among the safest vehicles available today. We've talked about the Model S and X refresh in a few videos now, but we have a possible quick update on those cars as well. While Tesla did change the MCU back in 2018, the Model 3 and Y have a horizontal screen compared to the Model S and X. The Cybertruck will feature a 17-inch horizontal screen, so we're expecting that Tesla will be bringing this design to the Model S and X soon. Their Model S and X production lines shut down for the holidays and reportedly began production on Monday the 11th, but we have yet to see anything, and now we have a possible update. This is from Twitter, and it's definitely unverified, so we'll take this with a very large grain of salt, but the tweet says, quote, "Refresh is confirmed according to my source, works at Fremont, February 1st week of start of production for Refresh Model S, March 1st week start of production for Refresh Model X. At the very least, we're expecting interior upgrades to fall more in line with the Model 3 and Y, but we're also hoping that Tesla will redesign the exterior of these cars as well. There's a lot more evidence for this, but I've talked about it in other videos, so you can check those out below if you'd like." Reportedly, Tesla has applied with the FCC for use of a new millimeter wave radar inside their cars. Currently, their autopilot suite uses 8 cameras, 12 ultrasonic sensors, and a front-facing radar. All cars since 2016 have had these same sensors, and Tesla has held firm that this hardware will be able to get full self-driving once the software is ready. We don't have much more information about this new radar, but most likely it would extend the range of Tesla's current radar system to optimize for full self-driving. This seems likely to be related to the 4D radar sensor we heard about back in October that will extend Tesla's radar to 300 meters. Last up today, Tesla is reportedly working on a new automated camera system to help with quality control inspection at their Fremont factory. They posted a new job description that says, quote, "The vehicle engineering team at Tesla is looking for a highly motivated quality inspection engineer to apply their experience with vehicle assembly lines and manufacturing software systems to lead the installation and operations of automation camera inspection systems into existing manufacturing lines." Tesla is always working on improving their factories and implementing changes to their cars whenever necessary. However, they also have to deliver a large number of cars each quarter in order to keep investors happy. This often results in large pushes of Model 3s and Model Ys getting delivered with some questionable quality control issues. And these are issues that should never take place on a car that is expensive as these cars are. I absolutely experienced that with my Model Y, so I really hope that Tesla can move forward with a system like this and that it can help them achieve better quality control. My personal theory is that Tesla will build their new Texas factory and it will eventually replace their Fremont factory, but we'll have to see what the future holds, and for the meantime, this camera inspection system could help them tackle quality control issues at Fremont. We'll see what happens with this Model S and X recall soon, and I really hope Tesla does the right thing there because this is a huge issue affecting 158,000 Tesla owners. I'll be sure to keep you posted, so in the meantime, make sure to subscribe to this channel, make sure to hit that like button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanShawTech. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.